What's good, guys? Welcome to my podcast, Snakz Thoughts. I say again, welcome to my podcast, Snakz Thoughts. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Eric Broadus YouTube. I say again, welcome to my YouTube channel, Eric Broadus YouTube, and also to my Snakz 123 on Rumble. And today, guys, I'm gonna talk about a topic that I guess it's time to finally have the conversation because we are fastly coming to a point, okay? And this pertains to artificial intelligence, you know? This pertains to artificial intelligence. And so the question that I pose today is, will artificial intelligence crash our economy? And is universal basic income the end game? And I say it again. Will artificial intelligence crash our economy? And is universal basic income the end game? Let's get into it, guys, and take this journey with me. Anyway, artificial intelligence is being blamed for everything. This fear of job loss, economic instability, and the collapse of the middle class. But is AI really the threat? Or is it exposing problems that already existed? In this episode, guys, and in this video, I'm going to explain what AI will actually do to the economy, who benefits, who suffers, and how individuals can adapt instead of panicking. This is not hype. It's just my perspective. All right? Here's my question to you. Every time there's fear, there's money behind it. True or false? People are asking, will AI crash our economy? Or is it revealing how fragile it already is? And my personal opinion, I think that artificial intelligence, it exposed what was already there. You know, our economies, and this is not just the United States, this is worldwide. So I'm talking worldwide because all of this is going to affect everyone globally. You know, so trust me, AI is coming to a theater near you, and so is universal basic income. So this is countries worldwide. Anyway, AI, it does not destroy our destroy economies. Transitions do. What are some examples of transitions? When they used to have the horse and buggy, and then they transitioned to the car. You know, everybody knows. If anybody knows, back in the days, was it Ford Motors that invented the first vehicle when men used to use horse and buggy? You know, and they transition. And so whenever you have a transition, it's going to have an effect on people's lifestyles. It's going to affect economies. And some ways it's going to be for the good, and some ways it's going to be for the bad. Other transitions were the typewriter to the computer. You know, and obviously the computer is much more faster and much more technologically advanced than just operating with a typewriter. You know, another one would be factory automation. You know what I'm saying? To the service economy. Pain, it always hits those that are unprepared, and that's the truth right there. Technology, it doesn't kill economies; it exposes weak systems, and that is true. Now, the question you might ask, okay, all right, who actually loses in the AI shift? All right, here's some of my points and what I believe. Repetitive, low-skill, replaceable labor. Jobs with no creativity, leadership, or human judgment. Workers dependent on one income stream. Okay, now let me say this. AI is gonna it's going across the board. You know what I'm saying? It's going into anything from medical fields as well. So it's not just your baseline jobs, not just your call center or Amazon. You know what I'm saying? Simple warehouse jobs. It also is hitting some doctors, some nurses. You know what I'm saying? Certain professions with lawyers, are being affected by AI, and it will move some of them, out of jobs, and they're gonna have to find a new career. So this is getting pretty deep, but follow along with me where I'm going with this, okay? Workers that are dependent on one income stream, okay? Now, important footnote: this isn't about intelligence; it's about adaptability. Being adaptable. Whenever new technology is introduced, we as human beings, we have to be able to adapt to it. Now, understand something. Human beings, we are adaptable creatures. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is people have to have something to do and to transition into something. And so the question is, all right, who wins with AI? Corporations that reduce labor cost, governments that automate surveillance and control, individuals who leverage AI as a tool, not a crutch, older men with experience plus authority plus discipline. Basically, older guys supposedly that have maybe wisdom and maybe more knowledge, can utilize, artificial intelligence. So can the youth, but the benefit that older men and older people have, they have more life experience. So that's where I kind of add that caveat into. But both the youth obviously are going effective at using it because this is what they were brought up on, technology. Whereas those of us from Gen X on back, obviously we have more life experience because we've been living longer and gone through, more things. But let me move on, and I believe this. AI rewards wisdom more than speed. You may be able to touch a button, but you still need to have some knowledge and know-how, Where I'm going with this, a good example I could use is that what they found is that they tried to replace teachers and use artificial intelligence to teach kids. And what they found is that something like, 40% of Gen A they call them functionally illiterate, that they couldn't even write a 5-sentence paragraph, and they're not fully using their brains or their minds. And the actual brain itself, it has synapses, and it's like syntax. And so the more you use it, what happens is that those synapses in the brain, they send electrical charges and they stimulate that activity, which allows the brain, to grow in function and in ability. So it has to be used. And so what they were saying is that a lot of times some of the youth, because they've been brought up on technology, everything is so convenient that they are not utilizing their full brain capacity. Anyway, let me move on, okay? The real economic danger, all right? And this right here is the core, guys. Boy. Some may say AI isn't the threat, but here's some real dangers. Over-centralization of power, dependency culture, loss of work identity. Like I said, people have to have something constructive to do and to transition into. You just can't have people around without purpose and not doing anything. So that's what loss of work identity is. Meaningless labor. If you're giving people meaningless labor, how can they use the abilities and the God-given talents that God gave them? They're no longer able to exercise it because they've been basically pushed out of the market. Let's see, what's another thing? Governments using AI to manage unrest instead of fixing systems. And I see that happen. You guys know the deal. You know what I'm saying? You see it worldwide. Cameras going up all over the place. They, pushing us into digital currency, digital identification. You can't travel within your country, and you definitely can't leave your country, without it, along with your passport or the digital passport. Social credit scores, you know, you know, so I mean, there's more than that, but everything is transitioning to digital, and through artificial intelligence, they can burn books, they can try to rewrite history. You know, these are just some things to think about, guys. And I want to say this, saying for human beings, and this, this goes for mankind, men and women both, but a man without a purpose is more dangerous than a machine without ethics. And that's true for women, but that definitely goes double for men. Men need purpose, and they need something constructive to channel their energy into. There was like some type of, I think, Pew Research or there's a study or something that said that if a society was going to be turned over and turned into chaos, I believe they said the group or age group that was most prone to do it, I believe, is from maybe, I don't know if it's 15 or ages 15 or either 17 to something like 40, is it 45 or something, or 46 maybe? If they were going to turn up and turn something upside down, that would be the group, that would turn a society, flip it upside down into chaos if they wanted to rebel or flip a system upside down. So, men definitely need something to do, because when men don't have a purpose and don't have anything to do, they tend to get into a lot of nefarious activity and even violent activity and criminal activity, whereas women, they can go there, but women are more or less go into different types of criminal activity, such as and I hope YouTube doesn't get me for this, such as the pro word, women of the night. I'll just put it to you that way. You know what I'm saying? Whereas men participate in more, maybe say, violent crimes and stuff like that. In crimes of more of an aggressive nature. Anyway, let me move along. Okay. Now, with artificial intelligence, you need faith in a moral lens, and you can see where we're going with this. Technology without morality always leads to abuse. Anybody heard of sex robots? Replacing human beings with an automated mate. Having a male or female robot for a mate instead of an actual man or a woman. What is it? Artificial womb. Seeking to replace the human female and reproduce, offspring or human beings, without the woman. You see what I'm saying? Our moral compass. And I'm not here to judge, judge, neither here or there, as I am a Christian. And I do have my views which align with the Bible, but, I'm not here to push my views on anybody. But I'm just merely giving information out. They have robot sex brothels. I believe for men and women both, but I know the men are definitely using them. And these robots are humanoid. And so now you have guys and maybe some ladies that are not even going to women or men of the night or escorts. Now they're actually going to a robot, a humanoid AI bot. Yes, believe it. It's going on, and it's going down in Asia, and these robots, they've already begun to make their way into Europe. So this stuff is real, guys. The Bible warns, about systems that remove dignity, from work. Work is tied to identity, discipline, and purpose. And now, when you take people, out of jobs, right? And you eliminate their jobs and you keep automating everything, okay? The next question is, okay, how do you keep economy alive? How do you keep it alive? An economy is based, on a system and a market that has buyers and sellers. And so, if the people are jobless and they're not earning anything, then where are they going to get the resources from to spend on goods, services, and products? And I'll give you a good example. Let's just use, say, Amazon as an example. If Amazon automates out, right, and they no longer have human workers, right, and if Amazon and say other companies and the government is going to automation, right? What happens to the people? Where do they get the resources from to buy the products from Amazon? You see what I'm saying? Where they gonna get it from? If you have automated AI bots, you know what I'm saying, or do you automate truck drivers out? Okay, and now AI is delivering the products to shelves, to grocery stores. Okay, right? Where do the people get the money and the resource in order to purchase the services that they need? Where they get the money to pay for rent? Where they get the money to pay for groceries? Where they get the money to buy houses? So you have an entire system that is reliant, on this, yeah. Universal basic income. Okay. Now, how does this fit into to our economy with automation? Okay. Now, let me say this. UBI, universal basic income, and this is global for every country, is eventually going to go to this. Okay. The way the elites and governments like to frame it, they don't consider it. They don't like to frame it as free money. You know what I'm saying? But they like to consider it, I guess, a moral good and a guaranteed fix. They consider universal basic income to be more like a pressure valve that governments utilize and consider when large portions of the population become economically unnecessary. So you have large populations of the globally that now are economically unviable and basically put out of work. All right. So now, universal basic income, is it a safety net or control mechanism? My personal opinion, percentage-wise, I think it's going to turn into more of a control mechanism. Maybe I would say maybe 35% a safety net, but it's something they're not going to have a choice. What else are you going to do? But once you issue out universal basic income to those that are without jobs and to mass populations worldwide, now you have them centrally controlled. And you have to figure that they're going to issue this stuff out, digitally. So that way now they can see exactly what everybody is spending. And then they can tie this into a social credit score. And if you don't do what the elites of government say, they can turn it off. You guys get where I'm going? Okay. Let's see here. All right. Let's see. UBI, it's being discussed because artificial intelligence displaces labor faster than systems can adapt. Governments fear mass unrest, not unemployment itself. They worried about people turning up. If they get put out of work, and they lose their jobs and they can't support themselves or their families. Oh, you got some smoke coming to the city. You best believe that. And can you imagine this, globally happening in every country? Let's see. Paying people becomes cheaper than retraining or restructuring. It's cheaper to give a universal basic income check. And this is a monthly check that will be given, by each government, to its unemployed citizens, and even I think it may even still be given to some individuals that are employed. It just may be given out in mass. Let's see. Universal basic income. It doesn't restore dignity, purpose, or upward mobility. You ain't gonna be socially upwardly mobile on UBI. You know what I'm saying? So now you got a certain class system where people are stuck in that particular group. Work gives men structure. Income alone does not. And that right there is the truth. People got to have purpose in what they do, and that goes double for men. Men need purpose. Okay? Now, UBI, it doesn't solve the problem of lost work. It seeks to manage the consequences of it. Okay? What's the psychological cost of UBI? All right? Loss of purpose, erosion of self-worth, increased dependency, quiet social decay, sedation instead of empowerment. A check can feed a man, but it can't replace identity. What's the trade-off, that nobody talks about? All right? And to everything, there's a price. Universal basic income comes with surveillance, conditions, compliance, loss of leverage, centralized control. When income is guaranteed, behavior is no longer free. And let me say that again. When income is guaranteed, behavior is no longer free. Get that, guys. Okay? Now, the Bible ties provision to stewardship, not idleness. An idle mind is the devil's workshop. Charity, equals permanent dependency. Systems that remove responsibility weaken societies. You're not condemning the poor, you're questioning policy design. And that's real talk right there, guys, So there's nothing that's free. You know what I'm saying? There are no free lunches, in this world that we live in. But those are conditions that's gonna come with it. Okay, so what do people do now that we know now it's inevitable? It is coming with the advancement of AI, Chat GPT, supercomputers. You already know that they're quantum computing. You know it's coming, and jobs have already been replaced. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's not going to stop. Okay, so what people must do now? Stop relying on one stream of income. Get that out your mind. You know what I'm saying? You need multiple streams of income. Build skills that artificial intelligence can't replace: judgment, leadership, voice. Use AI as leverage, not competition. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be competing against it. Okay? Create instead of consumption. All right? And closing, guys. This is my closing statement. AI won't crash the economy, but it will crush the unprepared. And I'll say it again. AI, it won't crash the economy. It's going to do a lot. It's going to do a lot of damage. You best believe that, because we got to have an economy in order for our systems to survive. AI won't crash the economy, but it will crush the unprepared. The question isn't what AI will do to us. It's what we'll fail to do for ourselves. So we got to get that, guys. We got to get that. AI isn't the enemy. Complacency is. If you had to adapt today, guys, would you survive the shift? And I'll say it again. If you had to adapt today, would you survive the shift? Now, that's all I have on this one, but I want to give you guys something to think about. This artificial intelligence is here, guys. And, it's real, and it is not going anywhere. So we have to be ready for it. We got to get ready for it and get ready for the transitioning, because it's coming. You know what I'm saying? And when they talk about the slogan, winter is here, well, winter is coming for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of, will you be prepared for the weather? Will you be prepared for the weather and the change of season? But that's all I have on this one, guys. And the name of this podcast is Snakz Thoughts. SNAKZTHOUGHTS, Snakz Thoughts. And you can find this podcast on Spotify, Spreaker, Radio PBM, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and a host of other social media outlets. Also, I have a YouTube channel, Eric Broadus YouTube. That's ERICBROADUS YouTube, or ericbroadusyoutube.com. So please smash that bell to become a subscriber. Turn on all notifications. Hit the like and unlike button, to like the videos. Either way, leave a comment. Love to dialogue with you, and I'd like to hear what you think and what you have to say about this. Also, I have my Snakz 123 channel on Rumble. SNAKZ 123 on Rumble, guys. So likewise, subscribe to me and follow me on Rumble. Hit the like or unlike button to like the videos and content. Either way, leave, a comment. I would love to hear your perspective and what your thoughts are concerning this, because we all are going to be affected by this. And also, lastly, I have the 5 best weight loss products. And so those are weight loss products and nutrition. And I will leave the link in the description. So click on the link and purchase the products. Take care of your health, guys. Share the link with others so that they can go on there and they can purchase the products and take the products and take care of their health. Next to God, the next best thing, guys, that you have is your health. You get one life to live. You get one body. Take care of it. But here we are, guys. What say you? What say you, guys? AI and universal basic income. Here we go. But that's all I have on this one, guys. Catch you on the next one later.